Hi, welcome to episode number 9. So I've got to pause there. Said the wrong thing. Hi, welcome to episode number 16 of the Better Conversations podcast. We speak to the leaders of today so that the leaders of tomorrow can be inspired, enriched, and better than those who came before them. Today, I'm with Matt. Is it Matt Gregoire? Matt Gregoire, right?
Gregoire.
Gregoire. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, I'll pause there again. Today, I'm with Matt Gregoire. Matt is the general manager of catering and events at the O2. Hi, Matt. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good, good.
To warm up the audience, tell us one interesting thing that you did today.
Oh, I've done many interesting things today. To be honest, it's been a jam-packed day. I'm still at work now, still sat at my desk.
Oh,
I've kind of normal day kind of starts about half past 8, 9 o'clock.
yeah.
We've actually, one interesting thing, we've onboarded a new project manager.
Oh, nice.
The arena gets bigger and bigger, and we've got ongoing projects all the time. So
Yeah.
onboarded a new project manager today. So that's quite an interesting thing that's happened today. And then it's been
Yeah.
back-to-back meetings. So hence why I'm still here doing work.
Yeah. Is there any sort of interesting events that you've been involved in or interesting projects that you've been involved in that's been your personal favorite?
I think my personal favourite is probably within the arena. It was back in 2014 now, so it's a while ago, but
Yeah.
we opened the Amex Lounge. So I don't know whether you've been to the O2 before, but we've got a lounge in there. So when I first joined the O2,
Yeah.
I was actually the VIP lounge manager.
Oh, nice.
So there's been a bit of growth since then, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it was kind of a project that was quite close to my heart, and I was kind of the lead project holder of that project. So I kind of took that from where it was to where it is now, and it's grown since as well. So that was probably my favourite.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few coming on as we speak, really, and it's one that I'm working on really closely. I don't know whether you've seen it; it's on YouTube and everything now. It's The Residents. So that
Residents.
is
Yeah.
it's a large. So what we're doing is actually taking. If you've been to the O2, there's 96 suites in total.
Okay.
We're actually taking 12 of those suites and knocking them all through into one large lounge.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so that actually we actually launched that back. It was probably about 2 months ago now, and that's gone out to press, so it's
Yeah.
everywhere. So yeah, so there's quite a bit of work on that. We
I can
actually
imagine.
start the demolition and kind of breaking ground on the 2nd or 3rd of July. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of it's really real now.
Yeah. Yeah. Very busy. So thanks for coming on the podcast. And I know one thing that you sort of say that was really pivotal to getting to where you are is coming back to the O2. Would you like to talk the audience through that story and let us know how it sort of changed your career trajectory?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, so I kind of joined in 2012 here at the O2, just after the Olympics.
Yeah.
My first show was Kevin Hart, I remember,
Oh, nice.
and like I said earlier, I joined as the Amex Lounge, so the VIP Lounge manager,
Yeah.
and I was growing. I wanted more and more as I was growing, and I actually one of my friends, who's still my friend now, he brought me across from my previous role, and I came into that role and really enjoyed kind of live events, and I wanted to stay within this field. And
Yeah.
he ended up moving to Australia, and so I ended up taking his role. And from there, like I say, I was like that project lead on the Amex, and that job grew. And as I launched that, we brought more managers in to do my old role, and I grew into all the rest of the bars within the arena and a couple of other restaurants. And then from there, the role grew again, and I kind of had the opportunity to take over hospitality as a whole, so take all the suite level as well as my role. So I actually had the opportunity to do that,
Yeah.
or I had a role in Dubai that I
Oh
couldn't go
wow.
to, and I had a role in Manchester to go to.
Yeah.
And I'm, as you can probably hear from my accent, I'm northern, so
Yeah.
the role in Manchester really, really interested me. So I
Mm.
decided to go with that. It was a chance to really like learn and to grow,
Yeah.
um, and I decided upon that, and so I left and moved away, and I left in really, really good terms. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be here; it was just my chance to grow. I'd kind of grown organically with
Mm.
the roles that I've been in, and and so I moved away, took that role as the general manager, and it was in nightclubs, which
Yeah.
wasn't the thing that I wanted to do long term. But again, it was a massive project. It was a building site when I kind of took over,
Yeah.
and it was a really interesting joint venture. So there was two parties that I kind of worked across, and I was the middleman for that.
Mm.
And I kind of mobilized that, and and then I came back down for a show. I actually came to see Future here,
Oh, okay. Nice.
and I saw my old boss, and he was like, "It's really." He didn't know I was coming.
Yeah.
It was it was a really strange one. He came over and said, "We were just speaking about you the other week. Would you be
Yeah.
interested in coming back?" And it just all seemed to be the right time, and
Yeah.
um, I came back into the business, and it was a more of a regional role, so I wasn't based back at the O2 at the time, and it was more of
Mm.
a kind of a business support manager, really project
Okay.
manager. So I would go into regional units and oversee any new bars or new restaurant launches, or help chefs out with concepts,
Yeah.
um, or look at like, could I make their businesses any more efficient?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say a consultant, but it was kind of helping out with
Mm.
GMs that haven't got the time kind of to do that. I would help
Yeah.
launch. And there just happened to be a project back at the O2 that I came to
Yeah.
help on. And it was ideal for me because I knew the client, I knew the way the business was run. So I came back here, and that's it.
Yeah.
I was stuck.
Yeah.
I was stuck. So, and then from there, I just leveled up and went through.
Mm.
I went in, came back as a head of premium. So I looked over all the premium side of the business.
Yeah.
Then obviously COVID happened. And I came back as the deputy GM after
Yeah.
COVID, because we just realigned the business and restructured. And then as of last year, last year,
Yeah.
28th of last year, February last year, I took over as GM.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a quite a aggressive rise, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's been an interesting one.
Yeah. That's really interesting. And that move to Manchester, I guess, what's one of the key things that you learned, I guess, in that role at Manchester that really set you?
Um, patience,
Patience.
patience. It was
Yeah.
massive, and I mean, I think I think that how I was growing organically and working across two totally different clients that wanted two
Yeah.
totally different things, was huge. And I learned a lot, and I learned a lot of both of them.
Mm.
One was better than the other in terms of just business management, I
Yeah.
think. But it was great to work for two totally different companies, but they were on the same joint venture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just helped me grow as a manager, and I think that yeah, it did definitely take patience for
Yeah.
sure, but also allowing yourself to to kind of grow organically with it. I think
Mm.
that was a big bit. Is
Yeah.
like I didn't know my capacity or my capabilities because I've never really been stretched like that.
Yeah.
And to have a unit that's on your own, that's brand new, that when we launched was massive, and then it just dropped off and it wasn't
Yeah.
doing as well. So how do we, and I was under pressure to deliver this, and so sometimes you really need to put yourself under pressure to understand what your elasticity is, and
Mm.
how much you can grow. And I think that
Yeah.
that without a doubt has made me within some of my day-to-day work that I do now, you know, I know that I've got more. I know I've got, because of the, you know, of the things that I put myself under at that point was
Yeah.
really, really tough. And now I've got that kind of capability to push myself through some difficult times now.
Yeah. I think that really leads nicely into the second point as well, which is the pivotal moment around saying yes to the career. I know you said that before you didn't really know exactly what you wanted to do. Talk the audience through that as well, because there's probably people that are in that position as well.
For sure. Like, and I would say anybody that's coming out of college or school or, you know, out of another job or another totally different career, which I'm
Yeah.
sure that, you know, I'm a bit older now. I'm 39 this year.
Yeah.
Although, you know, I'm still the youngest GM that's been here.
Yeah.
So, but when I came out of school, I played football. I was lucky enough to play pro, and
Yeah.
I stayed there for what 4 or 5 years, and decided, you know, another great career to go into. I actually started modelling for a while, so I
Yeah.
was modelling for 4 or 5 years, and to be able to do both of those careers is aspired by quite a lot of people,
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
able to do that. So
Yeah.
um, I went traveling. I came back from traveling, and my friend had a bar. And at that point, I had no clue what I was going to do. And, you know, I needed some money after traveling and spending,
Yeah.
spending everything. And he just said, "Do you want to come and work for me, do Saturdays?" And, you know, and yeah, cool. Like,
Yeah.
so I did. And I think that, you know, that was definitely a pivotal moment for me, but that
Mm.
I didn't know that anything about hospitality. I didn't know how to run a bar, make a cocktail, do, you know, and
Yeah.
I just went with it at the time. I think it was about 25, 26 at the time. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not straight out of school. That's after
Mm.
people will finish uni, and I still didn't know what to do. So I think that
Yeah.
for people that are in that space, that not knowing what to do, you've got time, and,
Yeah.
don't panic, try something that you might like. And the hospitality as a career and a profession, some people
Yeah.
think that it's not for me, I don't like it. And, you have to start at the bottom. You have to understand
Yeah.
what happens and how to serve people, and what's right and what's wrong. And because
Yeah.
otherwise you just can't teach, and you can't recruit, and you can't train. But it doesn't mean that hospitality management going forward. I mean, I can't remember the last time I pulled a pint. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I work in hospitality, but I don't. I manage a business, and if you've
Yeah.
got that business background and you went to school and you did
Mm.
business, and there's so many different variants, especially within the company I work for. There's marketing, there is project management, there's finance, there's
Yeah.
culinary, there's so many things. So, hospitality scares a lot of people because they think, I don't want to serve people fish and chips, or I don't want to do
Yeah.
this, or that, but there's so many different arms of the business. And,
Mm.
I manage a lot of people now, but at the time when I came into this working for my friend,
Yeah.
I pulled pints, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I think for other people that, that are listening, that are in the same position, of come out of what they're, what is school or any further learning that they've got,
Yeah.
don't panic, and get into it as you, again, I don't want to keep using that word, but organically, don't push yourself into
Yeah.
you will find your niche, and you will find where you need to be. And I think that as long as you work hard at what you do,
Mm.
I think that is that, and be passionate about it.
Yeah.
That's because otherwise, if you're not passionate about it, you're never going to get the results that you need.
Yeah. And that's a really interesting point you made as well, around sort of what I took from that really is around sort of being patient with the journey as well. You might not know what you want to do now. I guess you started off, as you said, putting pints, but where you are now,
Yeah.
it's about being patient with that journey, and as you said, growing organically.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even now, I've not stopped. I
Yeah.
want the next thing already, and I've already said to my directors and people above me, I'm saying, what's next? What do I do
Yeah.
next? And although this is an absolute beast of a job, and
Yeah.
I don't have time to think about what's next, and there is potentially further learning that I need to do before I get the next stage,
Mm.
is that like when you get to that point, you don't stop. I think that you
Yeah.
want more, and you should want more. Like resting on your laurels a bit will make you personally, as a personal performance, drop. You should
Yeah.
always want more, and that makes you grow as a person. And I think, you know, if I could have quite easily said, yeah, I want to just carry on working on a bar and I want to be a
Yeah. Yeah.
bartender. And there is nothing wrong with that for any
Yeah.
bartenders that might be listening. And there is nothing wrong with that. And there is some people at the top of their game, you know,
Yeah.
working in bars, hotels, high-end restaurants. My nephew is actually a sommelier at a 3 Michelin star restaurant, and
Nice.
he's
Yeah.
gone into that. And he came out of school not knowing what he wanted to do, and
Yeah.
so he's grown into like the very high end, the top level of fine dining. So
Yeah.
you just organically drop into something that you
Mm.
feel that you fit in, and I speak to, underneath me, I've got 56 fixed heads underneath
Wow.
me that's growing to
Yeah.
potentially, you know, in the next 3 to 4 months, potentially another 10 people are going to drop in.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're talking about what, 66 people that are underneath
Yeah.
me that are all doing different things. I never in a million years thought I would be at that position.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I love what I do, and no one in here can take that away from me, and I think that
Yeah.
if you've got passion for something, it will show through, and those people that are meant to follow you within a business will do it because they'll see the passion inside you.
Yeah. And that leads on to, I guess, the final pivotal moment that you normally talk about, which is making mistakes throughout your career. It'll be
Yeah.
really good to actually get some insight into that as well, about how that sort of helped you grow as well to get to where you are.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I worked. So when I left here and went to Manchester,
Yeah.
there was so many things that I had to learn, so many,
Mm.
and they were all my decision. And there was no one above me to, you know, there was directors and shareholders and things
Yeah.
like that that were part of it, but there was no one to make the decisions. It was all on me.
Mm.
So I had to pick the right team. I had to
Yeah.
train the
Wow.
right team. I was part talking to builders and turning
Yeah.
around. The toilets were in the wrong place, so let's move them there and put the kitchen here. And so it was so huge of the
Mm.
decision making that I had to make. You know, did I think that I was getting it all right? Yes, at a
Yeah.
time. Did I get it all right? No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't. You know, in hindsight, I probably would have put the entrance at a different area if, you know,
Mm.
and did I make some major decisions wrong? Yeah, I did. Opening
Mm.
night, we didn't have enough soft drinks in there for mixers to
Oh
open with,
wow.
so we were running everywhere for Coke and
Yeah.
Sprite and everything else, and that was opening night, and we had,
Yeah.
I'm talking, a star-studded kind of guest list. So, and there's some major issues that I just didn't even foresee, and because your head is in so many places.
Mm.
And I was thinking about guest list, and you know, at the time I had some personal issues as well with some
Yeah.
family, and so there were so many things going on that I let something slip, and it
Mm.
was major, and it was a major mistake, and I've learned from it, you know,
Yeah.
and I've grown throughout. You know, any time something of that size or that magnitude, we've got that opening of the project that I said that I'm working
Mm.
on in a minute. That opens hopefully start of November,
Yeah.
mid November. When that opens, I will make sure we've got everything in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've learned, you know, and that you can take that kind of philosophy into so many different either um, career paths or whatever. You will make mistakes,
Mm.
and with those mistakes, you have to make sure you remember them and you learn from them. I will
Yeah.
never forget that mistake that I made, and moving forward, you know, I will make sure that I've got enough stock in the
Yeah.
business. But it doesn't make you stop making mistakes. I made
Mm.
mistakes in the last couple of months that I will learn from, and I will take forward with me.
Yeah.
And so you've just got to keep going, and don't let it affect you as a person and as a manager, because
Mm.
you will, you know, you will learn from it, and you will take it will take you forward in your career, and that's the important bit.
Yeah. And to round it all off, what's one thing you would advise your younger self?
I think you don't get anything without hard work. I think, and I would tell, I don't have kids. It's very, very difficult to
Yeah.
have a life outside of work when you're working here. But when I do have children, the one thing that I will teach them is hard work. My family are all hard workers, all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that, my dad throughout his career has worked, really, 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 really hard. And I think that is, get something and work hard at it and you will grow. And if you're dedicated to that, you will grow, you will progress. And I've come out of, like I said before, I play football. I'm not academic at all. If you read things on job adverts of that you need this degree and you need this and you need further learning and you need that, like, 10, 15, 20 years ago of me coming out of school and not knowing what I wanted to do. And I read this job advert. Firstly, I would never have thought I could do it. Secondly, I would have read it and gone, a degree, but because I worked hard, I was dedicated, I asked the right questions, I learned from my mistakes, I went away to, and it was all in the right way. And I made the right choices. I went to Manchester and didn't go to Dubai. The money was a little bit better there, but actually, did I want to do that? If I stayed in the company, which I had a job offer, would I have got to the places where I am now? I chose right, and anything else could have taken me off in any other tangent. But it's making measured decisions for yourself and thinking about yourself sometimes and saying that's the right thing for me, and this will grow my career. So, more than anything, it's hard work. And look, I work with tonight. We've got an event on tonight. We've got probably 350, 400 staff members in tonight. And if I could say anything to any one of them was, you work hard, you can grow in this. And that is probably one of the most frustrating things for me. And I don't know how many of your listeners and what the age range is, but if it's the younger age range now, from any person within business and that you speak to within this podcast, I think if you ask them, that younger generation is hard work and dedication is probably the two things that a lot of people, when interviewing, want to hear. Is that they're not jumping between jobs, that they're willing to put extra hours in, that they want to learn more, that those are the things. I could grow 50% of that business, that workforce that are out there. I could grow them into leading managers if they want it. Not because they've come out of school with no qualifications, or because I did exactly the same. All I need is your time, your dedication, and you to work hard and, not moaning or anything like that. And I think that is probably one of the most fundamental points for anyone that wants to grow within their career, and is just to work hard at it.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Matt. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And I'm sure a lot of our... Sorry?
I said no worries at all. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners are definitely going to get value from it. I definitely took value from it as well. Is there anywhere where people can find you if they wanted to sort of get more inspiration and more advice from you?
I mean, I've got my LinkedIn. I don't post a lot, to be honest. I'm very hidden when it comes to socials, to be totally honest.
Okay.
But I'm on LinkedIn. If anyone's got anything, it's Matt Gregoire. So if you want to find me on there, ask me any questions. I'm always open. And I'm more than happy to help if anyone's got any questions.
Great. Thank you very much, Matt. Once again, thanks for coming on.
No worries at all.
And you've just listened to another Better Conversation, and we hope to see you next time.